I'm stuck in here with a crying dog. He's crying because the Griswolds have just gone out, and he's got FOMO, so he thinks now he's missing out on something. I don't know. Dexy, quiet now. Good boy. There we are. Sit down here by your dad. Good lad.
What did I say?
During the meanwhilest.
During the meanwhilest? No, I don't like that at all.
Well, hello, retro digital camera fans. And crying dogs. That's fans of old-fashioned cameras and not old-fashioned fans of new... Oh, you get the picture. Yes or no, depending on your persuasion. It's us again. And today we have a rare old treat for you. You okay now? Now, cast your mind back to the closing overs of 2010, and yours truly was not really doing much in the way of photography. I got fed up with like the endless cycle of buying film, shooting film, developing film, and then swearing a lot at the results. Now, I bought a couple of digital cameras, my Fujifilm Finepix A350, which I still have, by the way, and then a larger S5700, which I've since moved on. Cameras we used to document our daughter's early years and then latterly our family holidays, but I was no longer really taking my photography seriously, using these cameras just to take snapshots, though I did get the odd, shall we say, decent-ish image. Then one day, while on a lunchtime stroll into town, I found myself, as you do, in Swansea Camera Centre, just browsing around again, as you do, when I spotted a bargain offer. A Nikon D3100 with an 18-55 kit lens for a low price. Now, I can't recall exactly what it was on offer at, but the man in the shop assured me it was cheap. So after around 10 minutes of, mucking about with it, the man offered me a free SD card, oh yes, to seal the deal. And I bought this 14 megapixel APS-C censored DSLR. I immediately thought I could resurrect my ailing landscape photography career and become the master landscape artist I'd always dreamed of being. Well, something like that anyway. After getting home and immediately having a row off Lisa for spending money on something we really didn't need, I set about convincing her that this new purchase would see me out of her hair at weekends as I went off in search of sunrises and sunsets. Now next I ventured into our loft to dig out my old camera bag and those old Coke-in slot-in filters. Remember them? Now, after a couple of days of annoying everyone at home by sticking a camera in their faces, I set off on my first expedition and took some truly awful pictures. What this camera did was it served me really well, teaching me the basics of, digital photography. Not the snapping bit, but things such as, data storage, file naming, and of course, those early tentative steps with Photoshop. I think it was called Photoshop Elements. Now, I used this camera and its kit lens for well over a year when I decided that to look more pro, I needed a camera with a top plate display. Yes, I was that shallow. What do you mean was, eh? And upgraded to a Nikon D90. But the D3100 had stood me in good stead, enabling me to get images like this one with my then new D90. And I think it's still one of the best images I've ever taken, with a Tamron 10-24 and a Coke-in 3-stop filter. Fast forward to the other day, then I was put in the box for my latest lens purchased, my macro Fujifilm thingy, away in the loft, when I decided to have a rearrange and came across a dusty old box that said Nikon D3100 and 18-55 VR kit. Now, my immediate thought was that I'd forgotten I had the box when I sold the camera on, but when I picked it up, it felt a little bit heavy. Opening it up, I was greeted with the wonderful sight of my old camera and lens. There was no SD card left in the camera housing, forgotten, gems, but loads of memories came flooding back, and instead of just putting the box back on the shelf, I stopped and thought, what could I do with the camera now, with more developed skills, don't laugh, both in taking and editing images, and after charging up the battery, that's exactly what I did. Now, sadly, I no longer have all my old Coke-in filters or holder. The only ones I have left are a blue one, which I must have used in my film days for something, and a rudimentary soft focus type filter. I guess today you could call it a pro mist filter and probably sell it on for a small fortune. Over the past couple of weeks I've been shooting some images while out and about or in my garden with the camera and kit lens, and here they are, along with some images from my bang up to date Fujifilm X-H2 for comparison. Now, of course, I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity of plonking this camera on the end of the GOAT, you know, my micro Nikon 105mm f2.8G masterpiece of a lens, and here are those images. Alright then, there we have it, my now, my now near 14-year-old Nikon DSLR, a camera I thought I'd sold years ago, to be honest. I'm going to have a more careful look up there, I think, this afternoon, and see if there are any other forgotten treasures up there. I think I'll keep this little DSLR though, alongside my Fujifilm FinePix A350. It'll provide memories worth much more than the value of the camera itself. Okay, we'll be back here on Tuesday with one of our music videos. Yay, I hear your scream. And a look at 3 tricky second albums that somehow managed to better the classic debut releases that came before them. Any guesses? And let us know in the comments as well if you found any unexpected treasures, photographic or otherwise, in your attic. Until then, just be nice. Okay, ta-ra then.